Many new types of spears and shivs were added to the game. So there's still the normal spear, but then on top of that you have the uranium spear, which does 8 radiation and 10 pierce, so it actually does less pierce than a normal spear, but radiation is pretty brutal. You have the reinforced spear, which is just 5 or 3 damage higher than a normal spear. The plasma spear, which is 18 pierce. And then you have the shiv, which is 5 slash with a faster attack speed. Then you have the uranium shiv, 10 slash, 5 radiation. Reinforced shiv is 10 slash, and plasma shiv is 15, making the plasma shiv basically just a combat knife. So that's really useful. And if I don't even know if it's possible to get uranium gear, because I don't think Windows drops shards at the moment, and I don't think they have for a long time, so I'm not entirely sure what's intended there, but either way, some new weapons, and yes, the spears can still have chemicals injected into them. Tanks have received awesome new sprites. They now show you the actual field level, so like this is a full field tank, where this one's empty, and you can see the chemicals on the side. And the high capacity ones are much larger, with like the container of itself is much larger, has a larger platform. And if you were to take like a bucket or something, they have dynamic sprites where if you take enough, you can literally see the fuel drop, which you can see some of it is taken off the top. Looks really nice. You can now see the shift duration and your job instructions on your PDA, so now you don't have to use out-of-party systems of seeing the round timer like Discord. Spacing no longer instantly sucks all the pressure out of the room, so if I just remove a floor tile, you'll see that the pressure doesn't go to 0 instantly. As you can see, you actually have a pretty fair amount of time before it becomes lethal. And floor tiles start being ripped up closest to where the spacing actually occurs, so it gives you more clear direction of where things have gone wrong. And as you can see, it gives you additional time, much more time to actually react to spacing, so that's that. Researching has received a massive rework. Now, researching is divided into 4 different disciplines, and each discipline is randomly picked based off tier 1 in the beginning. And so if like I research surgical tools, for example, it will reset all the other options, making researching not so linear and a little bit more luck based or just random depending on what you're trying to get. And if you research everything in a tier, if you get to tier 3, which I'll show you. So there's tier 3. So for example, biochemical tier 3 is cloning. Now if I research that, you cannot get tier 3s in any other categories. If you wanted to get bags of holding from industrial, you can't do that anymore because there's just no way of acquiring them. For a day or two, you could use the tech disk terminal to print out tier 3. It's a pretty quick rundown of it, but it's basically just a more random, less linear way of researching technologies. Also, in the civilian services, advanced spray has been moved to tier 2, so no longer do you have to give up getting the spray nozzle and backpack for janitors or for improvised weapons over the other tier 3s. A new tier 3 civilian service is already added called the Bluespace Cargo Transport, and it is a cargo telepad. It gives you the cargo telepad machine board, which is the old way cargo used to get, well, cargo. So the way the cargo telepad works is that if you get a multi-tool, you just link up the cargo telepad and bring it to your cargo request computer. And whenever you order something, like if I order an art supplies crate, it takes a little bit, but also with this is you can upgrade the cargo telepad to make the delay of teleporting shorter. So if science is already going to be making it for you, you can also just have science to make it work more efficiently. After a few seconds pass, you'll see the crate just appear on the telepad. Magic. Gravity guns like the Force Gun and Tether Gun are added. They are tier 3 science experimental research. So the Tether Gun lets you just grab any object and move it around. And the heavier the object is, the less you can drag it. You also can't drag anchored things, but it actually works on items through glass as well, so that is definitely one use of it. If you press Z, it lets it go. And the Force Gun works as in it grabs something. If you click it, it throws it. This also works through glass. The power sinkers received a pretty big change. So at the beginning, nothing is all that different about it. It just drains power from high voltage cables, but as it starts gaining charge, it starts making audio, and there will literally be a central command announcement. System scans have detected a rogue power-consuming device is becoming unstable. Staff are advised to locate and disconnect this device immediately before the station is damaged. As the power sink becomes more full, it will keep making very loud electric buzzing sounds to help you find it. And if you are at least near it, you need to at least be close enough to hear it. And once it hits 100%, the power sink is no longer a joke that can just be ignored until it's gone. If the power sink is not dealt with, yeah, whatever part of that station it was in is just going to be entirely gone. Also, zombies were disabled because zombies got a few buffs, which made the game mode rather unbalanced in the zombies' favor. So while that's being worked on, it is temporarily disabled. And that is all I will cover for now. There was a lot of good stuff this week, especially in the quality of life department, some new sprites and stuff that I just didn't cover. Science received the biggest rework this over the week. That is definitely the big highlight. I want to thank all of our maintainers and contributors for all their hard work, keeping the game playable, up to date with content. And that is all I will cover for now. And I will scroll through the changelog so you can look at it in case you missed it yourself and just want to look at it.